Louis Allen Lou Rawls was an American recording artist, voice actor, songwriter, and record producer. He is best known for his singing ability. Frank Sinatra once said that Rawls had the classiest singing and silkiest chops in the singing game. Rawls released more than 60 albums, sold more than 40 million records, and had numerous charting singles, most notably his song You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine. He worked as a television, motion picture, and voice actor. He was also a three-time Grammy winner, all for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. Career: Rawls was born in Chicago on December 1, 1933, and raised by his grandmother in the Ida B. Wells projects on the city's south side. He began singing in the Greater Mount Olive Baptist Church choir at the age of 7 and later sang with local groups through which he met future music stars Sam Cooke, who was nearly 3 years older than Rawls, and Curtis Mayfield. After graduating from Chicago's Dunbar Vocational High School, he sang briefly with Cooke in the Teenage Kings of Harmony, a local gospel group, and then with the Holy Wonders. In 1951, Rawls replaced Cooke in the Highway QCs after Cooke departed to join the Soul Stirrers in Los Angeles. Rawls was soon recruited by the Chosen Gospel Singers and moved to Los Angeles, where he subsequently joined the Pilgrim Travelers. In 1955, Rawls enlisted in the United States Army as a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division. He left the All-Americans 3 years later as a sergeant and rejoined the Pilgrim Travelers. In 1958, while touring the South with the Travelers and Sam Cooke, Rawls was in a serious car crash. Rawls was pronounced dead before arriving at the hospital, where he stayed in a coma for 5.5 days. It took him months to regain his memory, and a year to fully recuperate. Rawls considered the event to be life-changing. Alongside Dick Clark as Master of Ceremonies, Rawls was recovered enough by 1959 to be able to perform at the Hollywood Bowl. He was signed to Capitol Records in 1962, the same year he sang the soulful background vocals on the Sam Cooke recording of Bring It On Home to Me, and That's Where It's At, both written by Cooke. Rawls himself charted with a cover of Bring It On Home to Me in 1970. Rawls' first Capitol solo release was Stormy Monday, a jazz album with Les McCann in 1962. The next two Capitol releases did well and used Onzie Matthews as their musical director along with a 17-piece big band. Both these albums charted with Billboard and helped to propel him into the national spotlight as a recording artist. Though his 1966 album Live went gold, Rawls would not have a star-making hit until he made a proper soul album, appropriately named Soulin', later that same year. The album contained his first R&B #1 single, Love Is a Hurtin' Thing. In 1967 Rawls won his first Grammy Award for Best R&B Vocal Performance, for the single Dead End Street. In 1967, Rawls also performed at the first evening of the Monterey International Pop Music Festival. In 1969, the singer was co-host of NBC's Summer Replacement series for The Dean Martin Show along with Martin's daughter, singer Gail Martin. After leaving Capitol in 1971, Rawls joined MGM, at which juncture he released his Grammy-winning single Natural Man written for him by comedian Sandy Barron and singer Bobby Hebe. He had a brief stint with Bell Records in 1974, where he recorded a cover of Hall & Oates' She's Gone. In 1976, Rawls signed with Philadelphia International Records, where he had his greatest album success with the million-selling All Things in Time. The album produced his most successful single, You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine, which topped the R&B and adult contemporary charts and went to '2 on the pop side, becoming Rawls' only certified million-selling single in the process. Subsequent albums, such as 1977's When You Hear Lou, You've Heard It All yielded such hit singles as Lady Love. Other releases in the 1970s included the classic album Sit Down and Talk to Me. Rawls' 1977 Grammy Awards performance of You'll Never Find was disrupted by a coughing fit. In 1982, Rawls received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He sang the lyrics to WGN-TV's 1983 Chicago's Very Own ad campaign, a slogan that the station still uses to this day. On January 19, 1985, He sang Wind Beneath My Wings at the nationally televised 50th presidential inaugural gala the day before the second inauguration of Ronald Reagan. He was introduced by Patricia Neal. In 1989, he performed vocals for the Music and Heroes of America segment in the animated television miniseries This Is America, Charlie Brown. The Star-Spangled Banner. On the night of September 29, 1977, Rawls performed the national anthem of the United States prior to the Ernie Shavers-Muhammad Ali title fight at Madison Square Garden. He would be requested to sing the anthem many times over the next 28 years, and his final performance of it came in his hometown of Chicago. Rawls was asked to sing the national anthem to kick off Game 2 of the 2005 World Series between the Chicago White Sox and Houston Astros at U.S. Cellular Field. A lifelong fan of his hometown Chicago White Sox and Chicago Bears, he was said to be out of this world thrilled and honored at the chance to sing the anthem and to see his boyhood South Side idols play in a World Series at the same time. Though tired, very ill, and seemingly knowing this could be one of his final performances, his rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner on the evening of October 23, 2005 is said to be one of the most moving performances of his career. He had also sung the national anthem at 2 previous World Series games and one NLCS game, the 1982 World Series opener between the St. Louis Cardinals and Milwaukee Brewers and Game 3 of the 1985 World Series between the Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals, and Game 6 of the 1987 NLCS between the Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants. All 3 at Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis. Honors and charity work. In 1980, Rawls began the Lou Rawls Parade of Stars Telethon, which benefits the United Negro College Fund. The annual event, known since 1998 as an Evening of Stars, a celebration of educational excellence, consists of stories of successful African American students who have benefited from or graduated from one of the many historically black colleges and universities who receive support from the UNCF, along with musical performances from various recording artists in support of the UNCF's and Rawls' efforts. The event has raised over $200 million in 27 shows for the fund through 2006. In January 2004, Rawls was honored by the United Negro College Fund for his more than 25 years of charity work with the organization. Instead of hosting and performing as he usually did, Rawls was given the seat of honor and celebrated by his performing colleagues, including Stevie Wonder, The Oasis, Gerald Levert, Ashanti, and many others. His final television performance occurred during the 2005-2006 edition of the Telethon, honoring Stevie Wonder in September 2005, just months before entering the hospital and after having been diagnosed with cancer earlier in the year. This program, aired in January 2006, contains his final public television performance, where he performed 2 classics, You Are the Sunshine of My Life, and a final ode to Frank Sinatra with It Was a Very Good Year. At the time of Rawls' death, news and UNCF figures noted the significance of his final performance, It Was a Very Good Year. The song is a retrospective of one's life and its lyrics include, When I was 17, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for small-town girls and soft summer nights, and now those days grow short, it is the autumn of years, and now I think about life as vintage wine from fine old kegs, from the brim to the dregs, it pours sweet and clear, it was a very good year. Acting career. Rawls appeared in a segment aired during the first season of Sesame Street, to sing the alphabet. He dismissed the concept of using cue cards for the performance, but reversed that decision when he forgot the order of the letters. Throughout Rawls' singing career, he had the opportunity to appear in many films, television shows, and commercials. He can be seen in such films as Leaving Las Vegas, Blues Brothers 2000, and Angel, Down We Go. He had a part and sang some of his songs in Look in Italian, an independent mafia film. He had a supporting role in the Baywatch spin-off, Baywatch Nights. He also appeared in the Western television series The Big Valley, where he played a hired hand. Here, he delivered the memorable line, Ain't a horse that can't be rode. Ain't a man that can't be throwed. He guest-starred as a singer framed for, and targeted for, murder in a 1972 episode of Mannix, Rawls lent his rich baritone voice to many cartoons, including Hey Arnold. As the voice of Harvey the Mailman, Garfield, Captain Planet and the Planeteers, as the voice of Dr. Rice in the Season 3 episode Guinea Pigs, and The Proud Family. For many of the film Roman Garfield specials, Rawls would often compose songs for them, which he would then sing, usually doing a duet with Desiree Goyette, as well as the singing voice of the title character himself. For many years, he was a spokesperson for the Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company, helping promote the brand on radio and TV to African American markets much as Ed McMahon did for the white audience. He was also a spokesman for brewing companies, first appearing in television and radio commercials in the mid to late 1960s for Spur Malt Liquor, a Rainier Brewing Company product out of Seattle. He later appeared in a number of Budweiser advertisements. Budweiser was a key sponsor for the Rawls Telethon and UNCF. There was no attempt to avoid the similarity between the title of the 1977 album When You've Heard Lou, You've Heard It All, and his corporate sponsor's slogan, When You Say Budweiser, You've Said It All. A track on the 1978 album Lou Rawls Live, features Rawls singing the commercial slogan. Anheuser-Busch, the brewers of Budweiser, also suggested his telethon work to him. Rawls was also a regular guest host on Jazz Central, a program aired on the Burt Jazz cable channel. He appears as Dr. Rawls in A Dream on an episode My Wife and Kids, in which he breaks into a parody version of You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine, when a frightened Damon Wayans is afraid of having a colonoscopy the following day. Rawls uses the scope as a microphone in the scene. Rawls appears as a commentator in the second half of both the rated and unrated versions of the commentary for Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy DVD commentary track, despite having nothing to do with the film itself. During the track, he indulges the commentator's request, participating in a scatting contest with Will Ferrell. Rawls also appeared in an episode of Baywatch as a bookie, as well as the pilot episode of The Fall Guys Country Joe Walker. Lou Rawls appears in action figure form in an episode of Action League Now, entitled Hit of Horror. Rawls was also a guest star during the second season of The Muppet Show. He also made a brief appearance on the series finale of Martin. Billboard Top 50 Hit Singles equals. The following is a list of Rawls singles that made the top 50 on the Billboard Hot 100. His first Hot 100 entry was 3 o'clock in the morning in 1965, and his final was Wind Beneath My Wings in 1983. In addition to those two, 9 other singles peaked at positions below the top 50 on the Hot 100. And additional singles reached the R&B, Adult Contemporary and Bubbling undercharts. Love Is a Hurtin' Thing 1966, number 13, Dead End Street 1967, number 29, Show Business 1967, number 45, Your Good Thing 1969, number 18, A Natural Man 1971, number 17, You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine 1976, number 2. Certified gold for sales of 1 million copies, Lady Love 1978, number 24. Personal life. On December 19, 2005, the Associated Press reported that Rawls tried to annul his 2-year marriage to Nina Inman, who had been acting as his business manager, after it was discovered she had made unauthorized transfers amounting to nearly $350,000 from his bank account into an account solely controlled by her. She later stated that she had transferred the funds to protect them from one of Rawls' daughters from a previous relationship. In December 2005, it was announced that Rawls was being treated for cancer in both his lungs and brain. With his wife of 3 years by his side, Lou Rawls died from his illness on January 6, 2006, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California. Rawls had one son with Inman, Aidan Allen Rawls. He also fathered 2 daughters, Loana Rawls, a wardrobe stylist and future Launch My Lion contestant, and Kendra Smith, as well as a prior son, Lou Rawls, Jr. In 2009, Pathway Entertainment announced its intention to feature Rawls as the subject of a biopic, tentatively titled Love Is a Hurtin' Thing, The Lou Rawls Story. Rawls' son, Lou Rawls, Jr., is the author of the script. Isaiah Washington would reportedly play Rawls. Discography. Albums equals 1962 Stormy Monday, 1962 Black and Blue, 1963 Tobacco Road, 1964 For You My Love, 1965 Lou Rawls and Strings, 1965 Nobody But Lou, 1966 Live. 1966 The soul-stirring gospel sounds of the Pilgrim Travelers, 1966 Sowlin, 1966 Carrie in Ontario, 1967 Too Much. 1967 That's Lou, 1967 Merry Christmas Ho! 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 1968 Feelin' Good, 1968 You're Good for Maine, 1969 The Way It Was, The Way It Is, 1969 Your Good Thing, 1969 Close Up, 1970 You've Made Me So Very Happy, 1970 Bring It On Home, 1971 Down Here on the Ground I'd Rather Drink Muddy Water, 1971 Natural Man, 1972 Silk and Soul, 1972 A Man of Value, 1973 Live at the Century Plaza, 1975 She's Gone, 1976 All Things in Time. 1976 Naturally, 1977 Unmistakably Lou, 1977 When You Hear Lou, You've Heard It All, 1978 Lou Rawls Live, 1979 Let Me Be Good to You, 1979 In Concert, recorded with the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra, live, 1980 Sit Down and Talk to Maine, 1981 Shades of Blue, 1982 Now Is the Time, 1983 When the Night Comes, 1984 Close Company, 1986 Love All Your Blues Away, 1988 Family Reunion, 1989 At Last, 1990 It's Supposed to Be Fun, 1992 Portrait of the Blues, 1993 Christmas is the Time, 1995 Holiday Cheer, 1995 Merry Little Christmas, 1998 Unforgettable, 1998 Seasons for You, 1999 A Legendary Night Before Christmas, 2000 Swingin' Christmas, 2001 I'm Blessed Seek, 2001 Christmas Will Be Christmas, 2002 Oh Happy Day, 2003 Rawls Sings Sinatra, 2003 Trying as Hard as I Can, 2006 Lou Rawls Christmas. Chart singles equals. Filmography, 2000 Jazz Channel presents Lou Rawls, 2003 In Concert, 2005 Prime Concerts, In Concert with Edmonton Symphony, 2006 The Lou Rawls Show, with Duke Ellington and Freda Payne, 2007 Live in Concert, North Sea Jazz 1992-1995. References. External links, Lou Rawls discography at Discogs, Lou Rawls at the Internet Movie Database, All Together, Navy recruiting video, Lou Rawls interviewed on the Pop Chronicles, Lou Rawls at Find a Grave.